Afternoon, guys, and welcome back to the Kieran Clark Racing Show. I'm carrying on with my stable tours. For now, on to stable tour number 4. We've previously had stable tours from Paul Nicholls, Dan Skelton, and Ollie Murphy, the recent one, which was produced on Friday. I hope you've all enjoyed them so far, and any comments, drop them in with any other stables you'd like me to include in my stable tours. But this episode, we are covering the Kim Bailey and Matt Nicholls stable, newly formed combination. And hopefully, there were plenty of winners. They've given me 8 horses to follow. Hopefully, there's plenty of winners coming out of these in this season to come. The first horse we're going to touch on is Step Ahead, a 5-year-old by Walk in the Park, who has since joined the stable from Don Cantillon. Goes novice hurdling this year. Ran in 2 bumpers so far. Was a decent second to Friendship back in May last year. Friendship is now rated 128 and potentially could be going for the silver trophy at Chepstow for the Hobbs team. And then Step Ahead was third at Ascot behind Wind Beneath Our Wings, who obviously is a potential supreme novice prospect for the David Pipe team. I know the David Pipe team think a lot of him. So this Step Ahead could potentially be in front of his mark going into novice company this year. Novice company could be a decent prospect to follow for the Bailey and the Nicholls team. The second one to touch on is the Kemble Brewery, a 6-year-old by Blue Brazil, who potentially could go novice chasing this season. Although currently on a mark of 129, they might take the handicap hurdle route first, as he disappointed slightly at Sandown on the back end of last season and when going in handicaps for the first time, after having 2 decent wins over hurdles and 2 seconds after that as well. He had a decent season apart from the handicap debut, so potentially they might, off 129, have one more go in handicap hurdles before going novice chasing, but he looks a very good prospect once got over the fence. Matt Nicholls has told me that he schooled very well, but they say that the mark of 129 could be too generous and they might have to have one more go in a handicap hurdle. The third horse to touch on is Salt Rock, a 7-year-old by Soldier of Fortune. This gelding ran has run in 3 novice chases so far this season. Last season, finishing a disappointing at St Savoy, would admit, 5th or 6th, but the time before that at Doncaster was a very, very good run. Looks like a sort of a galloping track would suit. Potentially goes back to Doncaster, Cheltenham, potentially those sort of meetings, Newbury. Courses which are probably going to suit him better. He's rated 121. They think he's got at least 7, if not 10 pounds in hand on handicapper, and the fact that the 2 horses that finished in behind him that day at Doncaster are both rated around the same mark, around 120, and he won fairly cosily that day up at Doncaster. So you'd like to think there is plenty more improvement for this horse. When he returns, they haven't quite said when he's going to start off, but he is a handicapper to keep on side. The fourth horse to touch on is a veteran of the stable, and it's Does He Know, a 10-year-old gelding. And you wouldn't normally have a 10-year-old in this sort of video, but they said that he is potentially now could be well handicapped, especially if he goes into the veterans races, etc. That there is a good program for now. He's dropped below 150 now for the first time in a while, and he could take advantage of that at the start of the season. Like I said, veterans racing could be his calling, but he has ran there's a race up at Cheltenham in November over 3 Mile 2, the Gold Cup trip, which he's run in 2 of the last 3 years. He finished 4th in it last season, and 3 years ago he actually won the race. So potentially he could be that could be the early season target for him. Like, he likes Cheltenham. Didn't do a lot wrong last season. He finished 4th in 5 of his runs out of his 6 runs and just pulled up the once. So he's still plenty of plenty of running in this horse, and like I said, veterans chases, all that handicap at Cheltenham could be the aim for this horse. That's Does He Know. The fifth one is one I'm very excited about, and that is Moon Rocket. Now, the people that know me know that I would have put this horse up as a novice hurdler to follow last season. Goes novice chasing, 2 wins last season at Southwell and Doncaster, and then went into Grade 2s where he was second at Haydock and second at Doncaster again. Not beaten too far, he was actually only beaten a neck at Doncaster behind the yellow car, and obviously the yellow car went on to finish third in the Albert Bartlett, which isn't bad form at all. I think it was third or fourth, one or two. You won't like this horse. Then went to the Sefton Moon Rocket, and unfortunately disappointed. Finished pulled up. Very disappointing run, but it could have been one run too many at the back end of the season, which I think was a catalyst for going chasing. I think once this horse gets sent over a fence, he does fit the old adage of a chaser. Whatever he does over hurdles, potentially will be better going chasing, and I can't wait to see him go over fence. Matt has said that he's schooled really well, and they are really, really looking forward to him going over fences. The sixth horse of the 8 to colour is a dark horse to follow for the season. One of the 2 dark horses for the season. And it's Island Bridge, a 5-year-old by Order of St George. Winner of point to point. He ran okay in 2 bumpers over Huntington and Foss Lass. Will go novice hurdling now, and I think the further he goes, the better he's going to be. They see him as a future novice chaser. He's obviously got the point-to-point experience. But novice hurdling, he's going to want 2 mile form minimum, if not 3 miles eventually. But they are really excited about this horse, and hopefully all the best. Hopefully he could be a decent prospect. They're potentially going to start him off early next month at Worcester, in fact in a race that they won last year with Clondor General. So he could potentially have a starting point there. That's over 2 mile 4. So one to keep on side is Island Bridge. Another dark horse to keep on side is Homemade Hero, a 5-year-old by Westerner. He won a point to point on his 3rd start. He's a big horse, looks a big smashing chaser in the making, but he will go straight over novice hurdles, and then he'd be a bit like what Moon Rocket was last year. Anything he does over hurdles is a bonus, and he will be a smashing chaser at the start of next season. The final horse to talk on, and this is the one that I'm most excited about seeing, and it is Draco Malfoy, a 5-year-old by Harzand. Goes novice hurdling off the back of 3 bumper runs last season. He's been outpaced every time over bumper, so he definitely needs a trip. 2 mile 4 plus for this boy. When speaking to Matt Nicholls, he said to me that he's been schooling well at home, and they're definitely looking to start him off over at least 2 mile 4 minimum, and then eventually step him up to 3 miles. He beat Keelstrand, who people might know, the Paul Nicholls stable, who's now rated 113 in a point to point. So potentially there is high expectations for this lad, and I think once he goes hurdling, we could see a very different horse. He ran decent enough in bumpers, but I think once he goes over the intermediate to third staying trips, he will certainly be one winning races for the Kim Bailey and Matt Nicholls team. Thanks again for listening, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that quick short fire video. Only the 8 horses to follow, but hopefully plenty of race wins coming out of those 8 horses. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and drop comments, like I said, of any yards you would like me to cover in these next couple of weeks. We're going to have a few more stable tours come in, and then my horses to follow will be out next week just before Chepstow starts. But thanks for listening again, guys, and see you all again soon.